Coach Red Pill managed to get a significant following on YouTube by doing a tactic which many other content creators have employed, including Vosh and many others, which is of being antagonistic towards larger content creators, usually making accusations or saying certain things and asking them for a debate. This is in the hopes that the larger content creator would have to debunk the accusations or give you attention, and the entire thing would generate buzz and more views to your channel. And this is how he managed to grow to a certain level, after which this tactic wasn't as effective, and as YouTube was cracking down on far-right content and the type of politics which he was expressing, eventually he had to reorient his channel and talk about something else.
You've been socialized into being the nice guy, right? You've been socialized into trying to please the girl, please her whims.
So he started talking about dating, and that's why the name Coach Red Pill is a thing, and his videos on dating were quite popular, some of them reaching 300,000 views. But they were also eventually cracked down by the platform because some of his thumbnails suggesting that women are like dogs and other things like that didn't really sit well with the YouTube moderators. So I think it was around 2020 that he decides to move from the United States towards Ukraine. And he also made a video suggesting that life in Ukraine is much better and that he encouraged people from America to move over there because it's a lot more safe in Ukraine due to the fact that in the United States you had all the riots, you had all of the cultural conflicts that we all know and love. And a few weeks later, the war in Ukraine happens. Now, him being in Ukraine, he decided to do war footage. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. Many journalists do try to report from dangerous places. I mean, it is a job, I suppose. He wasn't a journalist, but, you know, citizen journalism does exist. The only problem is that he was reporting the particular war footage from, how should I put this in a way that, a Russian sympathetic point of view. Right, so while in Ukraine, he was reporting this from a Russian sympathetic point of view, which eventually got him in trouble with the Ukrainian authorities, because most nations in the world during wartime, they do not allow for people to demoralize their citizens or soldiers. So yes, Ukraine actually has an act which is against wartime propaganda done. And I'm sure that the United States also during World War II, if they were to catch a Japanese person spreading Japanese propaganda within Boston, Massachusetts, they would have probably arrested him too. But yeah, Coach Red Pill was arrested in April. And he was let go. A lot of people thought that he died because all of a sudden he disappeared off the grid. But no, he was within the Ukrainian custody. And it seems that he must have kept on doing it because now he has been arrested a second time. And it seems that he is facing 5 to 8 years in prison. I have heard people say that he already signed a guilty plea, although I haven't seen any news about that in the papers. The reason that this particular YouTuber is actually making the rounds in Yahoo News and various other publications is due to the fact that as he was making his war documentaries, he actually managed to appear on Russia Today a couple of times. And he even had to make a video on his own YouTube channel disavowing and saying that Russia Today is taking him out of context. But as you can imagine, the Russian state apparatus seeing a person with American citizenship in Ukraine talking and taking the sides of the Russians, well, it's not a good look. I mean, that's literally like giving them free ammo. So, yeah, now he is being arrested, and I don't think we will see him anytime soon. Very bizarre. I mean, I genuinely do not understand what he was thinking. There are other people that travel in dangerous places in order to do some footage. Like, for example, Vice Magazine traveled to North Korea and talked about the Russian labor camps that are there. But they didn't release the footage while in Russia or in North Korea. No, they came back into the United States and they talked about it, right? Because you do not have free speech in every single place around the world. So if you do that, it's a little bit bizarre, like going into North Korea, and while in North Korea you're talking against Kim Jong-un or you're talking against the North Korean way of life. It's just like something that I've never heard anyone doing. And secondly, the footage that Coach Red Pill was showing, it wasn't the type of footage that you need to be there in order to experience, right? Like he wasn't going to actual battlefield locations and, you know, showing the devastation and the destruction. No, like he was sitting from his hotel room and he was talking about his point of view, which oftentimes was bewildering. Like he would say, yes, this was a false flag. And I was like, how do you know? Like, even if I was there, I wouldn't know, right? Like if there's a massive explosion down the street and missiles are flying, like, do I know who caused it? What happened? Like, unless you're literally there while it's happening, and sometimes even the soldiers don't know. Like, they need to get orders from their superiors, and the superiors may know. But the soldiers themselves, like, oftentimes in the heat of battle, have no fucking idea what is happening. You know, the only thing they know is like, oh, we're under attack. From where? From there. Okay. Like, that is how the situation unfolds. But to claim with such certainty, and with like, yes, this was a... Come on. And also, it's interesting that at no point did he analyze that maybe his predictions are wrong. Like, for example, when back in the day he said that the US dollar is about to collapse. Like, this was like more than 10 years ago. And the dollar is still here. I mean, unless he predicted that in 50 years from then it's going to collapse. But no, like, that's fine. He then predicted that it's a lot safer in Ukraine than it is in the United States. He then predicted that the war in Ukraine is going to be over in a couple of days. Like just bizarre things. And, you know, he did have an audience. I guess he must have said something that resonated with some people. But I don't think like he ever went and said, yeah, I predicted this, but I was wrong. I'm sorry. You know, because it happens to me as well. Like, I many times made mistakes on my channel, but at least I go back and I say, hey, I done goofed, you know, I guess, oopsie. But, yeah. So, I don't think we're going to hear from him anytime soon. I don't think Biden is going to give the same deal like he gave for that American lady, which is playing sports, right, by releasing Victor Bout in order to trade for her. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see this here. Although he does have American citizenship, so theoretically he can ask for the American embassy for help, and if the Americans would want to help him, they could simply ask the Ukrainians, and I think like they would be more than happy to hand him over. But we don't know what's going to happen. It is a possibility, though. At least here in Romania, from what I know, every time an American soldier manages to do something nasty, like run over someone with a car, has happened a couple of years ago. Very rarely, but it does happen. And every single time it happens, the American embassy asks the Romanian government to pass over the soldier into the American custody, and the Romanian government is more than happy to oblige. So it is possible that he will ask for the same treatment. We will see. If it happens, I will make a video about it. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.